Okay, sit yourself onto your lift and into a good cross-leg position. So come into cross legs, just make sure that you're sitting evenly with levelness in the hips, and hold onto your knees and lift up into the heart area. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Just listen to the breath as you feel the lungs from the bottom to the top, and empty your lungs from the top to the bottom. Soften your jaw, soften your tongue, soften your throat. But at the same time as softening around the throat, lift the chest, lift the heart area upwards, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Just observing how you can still maintain softness in the throat with a determined lift of the chest and the action of the shoulders. Just look at something that's not moving so that the eyes become still in the sockets. Release your knees, bring your hands into Namaste. Press the palms firmly together, lengthen from your armpits into your elbows. And then with an exhalation, allow your eyes to gently close. Focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Just listening to the sound of the breath and acknowledging that the in-breath sounds different to the out-breath. Maintaining the lift of the heart area, the drawing down of the shoulders. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Lift your chest up to meet your chin. Spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area as you release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. Lifting up into your chest, bring the head back and then allow your eyes to open, drawing your shoulders away from your ears. Hold onto your knees and lift up into the heart area, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Just feel that you can really elevate the heart area up to the ceiling. Just draw the chin down to meet the chest with an exhalation, keeping the shoulders down away from the ears, lifting the chest up to meet the chin. Take a deep inhalation and with the subsequent exhalation, drive the chin up to the ceiling. Take a deep inhalation and then with the following exhalation, bring the chin down to meet the chest. Lifting the chest, drawing the shoulders down. Take a deep inhalation and with the exhalation, rise the chin up to the ceiling, feeling the stretch of the front of the neck. Take a deep inhalation and then with the exhalation, just bring the head back to the center. Take a deep inhalation in through the nose if you can, and with the out breath, bring the right ear over towards the right shoulder, keeping the shoulders down. So it's not important to make connection between the ear and the shoulder, but just draw that ear downward so you feel an intense stretch on the left side of the neck. Take a deep inhalation and then come back to the center and then over to the left side, left ear down to left shoulder. Feeling the stretch on the right side of the neck. Take a deep in breath and with the out breath, bring the right ear back over towards the right shoulder, just stretching out the left side of the neck. And a deep in breath and with the out breath, come back to the center and over to the left, left ear to left shoulder, keeping the shoulders down consciously, just feeling the stretch of the muscles around the neck. And then with an out breath, come back to the center. Keep the chest looking forwards, lift up into the chest, drawing the shoulders down, take a deep inhalation. And then with an exhalation, bring the chin across to the right side. So again, you're stretching out the neck just very gently. Take a deep inhalation, with the exhalation, come back to the center and over to the left, just bringing the chin over to the left side with the head just lifted as normal. Just a deep inhalation and on the exhalation over to the other side. Take a deep inhalation. And with the exhalation, just back to the center and over to the left, again with the chin. Just stretching out the muscles around the neck. Just a deep inhalation and then come back to the center. So this time we're going to turn the whole of the torso, whole of the spine, but keep the chin in line with your chest as you do. So hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest, and then take a deep inhalation, and then with the following exhalation, turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across. Your ribs and your shoulders, keeping your neck still this time. Just draw your belly button to face that right knee and beyond it. Just observe how your body responds to the turn. And then come back to the center, hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest, take a deep inhalation, and then turn to the left. Again, drawing your abdomen across, getting your belly button to point at that left knee and beyond it. Turn the abdomen and the ribs and the shoulders, keeping the neck soft, keeping the shoulders away from your ears, keeping the heart area lifted. Digging the back hand into the floor so that you remain on the front edge of the seat bones, so that you can lift up into the chest. And then gently come back to the center. Just come off your lift and just come onto your knees with your knees apart, your feet together, and then lift up into the chest. Just feel your shins making contact with the mat. So depending particularly on the type of floor that you're on, if you're on, this is quite a well padded floor, because it's got like quite a thick underlay and a carpet on top, so the shins feel like they make contact pretty well. But if you're on a hard floor, you might not feel like there's that same connection. So if you're on a hard floor and you're finding that you can't get full shin connection, then lay out just a folded blanket. It doesn't have to be thick, but just give yourself a little extra cushioning so you can then really activate your shins. Push the shins firmly into the floor, and then that translates into the heart area elevating upwards. So press the shins into the floor and lift up into the heart area. Just bring your hands onto your thighs and then lift up into the chest as you come forwards. Walk your hands forwards, keep your heart area lifted, keep your head lifted, keep your seat bones in connection with your heels if you possibly can. Spread the fingers, spread the palms, and then slowly, keeping the heart area lifted, keep stretching forwards and bring your forehead down onto the floor. Just breathe even deep inhalations and exhalations. Just listen to the breath. Keep the shins connected to the floor. Stretch the toes away from the knees. Turn the tailbone in, lengthen from the hips into the armpits, into the elbows, into the wrists. Just pressing the forehead into the floor really firmly. Press your forehead into the floor and then lift the skull up away from the neck a little. So not off the floor, but press the forehead into the floor and then lift the skull underneath the skin, so that you lengthen the forehead skin down towards the bridge of the nose. Just giving you quietness of the brain. Come up onto your knees, turn your toes under, and then come up into dog down. Breathe even deep inhalations and exhalations, listening to the breath. Consciously filling your lungs from the bottom to the top. Emptying your lungs from the top to the bottom. And then step your feet forwards, just come up into a standing position, and then have your feet as wide apart as your mat. If you've got a back problem and it's kind of aggravating you at the moment, then do half Uttanasana with some blocks for your hand, otherwise we're going to do full Uttanasana. So bring your feet as wide apart as your mat. Just really consciously lining the edge of your feet up with the edge of the mat. Stamp the big toes into the floor, stretch the little toes out to the side. Bring your hands into your hips and elevate the heart area upwards. Broadening the collarbone by squeezing the shoulder blades towards each other. Activate the kneecaps. Turn the fronts of the thighs inwards. Lift up into the heart area. Keep your head lifted and hinge at the hips, keeping your back straight. Turning the fronts of the thighs gives you space to lift the seat bones away from the tops of the thighs. If you're doing half Uttanasana, then just bring your hands onto the blocks and continue to project the chin and the chest forwards. If you're going into full Uttanasana, bring the thumbs into the crease of the elbows. Keep the chest lifted as you come down, and then just allow the top of the body to hang down. Turn the fronts of the shins inwards. Tighten the kneecaps. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Just listening to the breath. So focusing on the lift of the legs, whether you're in a full or half Uttanasana. If you're in half Uttanasana, keep extending the spine away. If you're in full Uttanasana, maintain the focus of the lift in the legs and letting the top of the body hang down. And then when you're ready, bring your hands down to the floor if you're in full Uttanasana, and then bring your hands into your hips. Bend your knees on the way up if you need to, and then come up into Tadasana. Just be in Tadasana, inner edge of the feet together, lifting up into the chest. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Stretching the palms of the hands down to the floor. Turn the palms all the way out, rotating the upper arms in the sockets. As you do so, broadening the collarbone, lifting the heart area. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. So I've had, as you know, I've had a bit of a lurgy, kind of a cold, pretty bad one. And everyone's had something at the moment, so we're just focusing on recovery. So we're going to take it fairly easy today, but really focus on recovery positions that just help to refresh our energy. Just stretch your arms out in front, interlock your fingers, turn the palms all the way out, and then raise your arms over your head in baddangulyasana. Keep your legs activated, turning the thighs inwards, tightening the kneecaps, tucking the tailbone in gently, drawing the abdomen to the spine, lifting from the hips into the armpits, into the elbows, into the wrists. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Filling the lungs from the bottom to the top. Emptying your lungs from the top to the bottom. Holding you too long in the pose, then release, but if you can stay and maintain, then do. Just bring your arms down and then consciously swap the interlock of your fingers so that the other index finger is on the top of the stack. Turn the palms all the way out and then raise your arms over your head. Keep the shoulders down away from your ears, especially if you feel tension around the neck as you raise your arms. Keep the shoulders down. Continuing to just fill the lungs from the bottom to the top. Emptying them from the top to the bottom. And then gently release your arms and then come back into Tadasana. Just feel the warmth around the shoulders and the neck. And again, turn the palms all the way out, lift up into the chest. Just breathing even deep inhalations and exhalations. Just stretch your arms out in front, turn the palms all the way out, and then bring the hands behind you, bring the tips of the fingers together, walk fingers up towards the neck, and then bring the hands into namaskarasana. So the fingertips will probably be the only thing that's together to start off with. So then really consciously wing your elbows back, and then consciously lengthen from your shoulders into your elbows, and then squeeze the elbows in to the heels of the hands. So lift up into the chest, breathing from the bottom of the lungs to the top. Opening the chest to invite in positive energy. So in yogic terms, the breath is our commune with the universal energy that surrounds us. So in scientific terms, that is the oxygen that surrounds us. That's here because of a number of quite unique circumstances on the planet that allows humans and animals and plants to interact to provide oxygen and carbon dioxide that feed each other. So our existence is entirely reliant on the planet that surrounds us. So we should care for it. Just release your arms and then spread your fingers, spread your palms. Just feel how the hands maybe feel a lot bigger. Maybe you feel like one of those big foam hands people use at football games. Spread the fingers, spread the palms. Turn the palms and the upper arms all the way out. Lifting up into the chest. Okay, and then just gently release. Come back into Tadasana just one more time. Stretch your arms behind you, turn the palms all the way out, and then bring the hands back into namaskarasana. If you really can't do namaskarasana, you just get hold of the opposite elbow behind your back. You get the same kind of opening. Again, lengthening the elbows, so the shoulders into the elbows into the heels of the hands, winging the elbows back. Just filling the lungs with positive energy. And that positive energy, by nature, permeates into the blood that surrounds the lungs. And then the heart pumps that fully oxygenated blood around the body, providing energy for every living cell to perform optimally. So keeping the chest open and lifted and breathing without resistance is a really valuable tool for recovery. And then release your hands, release the chest, and then again just come back into Tadasana. Turn the palms all the way out, lifting up into the chest. Okay, and then release. Just come down onto the floor, and we're going to do some supta padangusthasana variations. So you'll need a belt for this. So if I can find my belt, where has it gone? So you're going to lay down onto your back. Found it. Lay onto your back. And bend your knees and have your feet as close to your seat bones as you can get them. So come down onto the floor, place the feet close to the seat bones, and then even shuffle the seat bones toward your feet a little more. And then just allow the back to enjoy the straight line of the floor for a moment. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Now you'll need space either side of you, so just make sure that there is a clear space either side. And then you're going to pull your right knee in toward your chest. Pull it firmly in toward your chest and then flex that right heel. And then push the left heel into the mat, sliding that left heel away until the left leg straightens, keeping the left leg firmly in connection with the floor, keeping the left heel in good connection with the floor. Then Tadasana-ize that straight leg, tightening the kneecap, turning the front of the thigh inwards, lifting and opening the chest, pulling the right knee in towards the chest. So you're really kind of compacting the front of the hip. and then release, and then bring both feet back to the seat bones. Again, just walking your spine down to the heels. And then bring the left knee in towards the chest, flexing that left heel, pulling the knee into the chest. And then push the right heel into the floor, sliding it away along the mat, keeping that leg in connection with the floor. Straighten that right leg, tadasanaise it, tightening the kneecap, turning the thigh inwards, and pull the left knee in towards the chest as much as you can, keeping that left knee flexing. So when you're recovering from some kind of ailment like a cold or something like that, then you kind of want to take it easy rather than go hell for leather, which is what we are doing now. Just release that left knee. Again, just bring the feet as close to the seat bones as you can. Maybe shuffle the seat bones down towards the heels a little if you need to. So this time we're going to use the belt. Keep the left foot where it is, so keep the left foot bent. Bend the right knee and then hook the belt around that right leg, and then stretch that right leg up to the ceiling. So we're doing this with a bent leg, with the left leg is bent, the right leg is straight. Just feel how, so there's often a real temptation to bring that leg over the face, but resist that temptation. Bring the leg just perpendicular, just to 12 o'clock. And then just feel where the hips are. Have you raised the hip of the lifted leg? So often you have to get hold of the thigh right at the top of the lifted leg, and then just encourage the front of the thigh to rotate to the outer hip, so that you kind of turn that leg, but then at the same time as turning that leg outwards, so that the hip moves away from the armpit. At the same time, you rotate the thigh inwards a little, and then push the left heel into the floor and stretch that heel away. Keep that leg straight. So supta padangusthasana 1. Again, just keep that hip of the lifted leg lengthening away from the armpit, and pressing the thigh, the top of the thigh, into the thigh bone, and turning that leg inwards a little, like you're doing tadasana. Do the same action with the leg that you left along the floor. Now take hold of both ends of the belt as close to the foot as you can, keeping that leg straight, and then bend your right elbow out in line with your shoulder. Bring your left hand onto your left hip. Bend your elbow out to the side in line with your shoulder, and bring that right foot out in line with your ear. Stretch into the left leg. So you shouldn't bring that leg to the floor. If it's on the floor, you've given yourself too much length in the belt, or you've popped your hip out of the socket. Hopefully it's not the second of those. So stretching the legs out, and then come back to the center, and then just release the leg from the belt, and then let the body relax into the floor. Just feel the energy around the hips, especially that right leg hip. And then bend the knees again, and then hook the belt around the left foot, keeping the right leg bent to start off with, and then push the front of the thigh into the back of the thigh, turning the front of the thigh inwards, and then push the right heel away until the leg straightens, sliding it along the mat. Again, address the levelness of the hips, lengthening that lifted leg hip away from the left armpit. Keep the leg straight. Give yourself more rope if you can't keep it straight. Lift the chest, breathe into the bottom of the lungs to the top. And then take hold of the belt as close as you can to the foot. Bring your right hand onto your hip to keep it in place, and then bend your left elbow out in line with your shoulder, bringing the foot in line with your ear as much as you can. Keep that right leg working determinedly. Bringing that leg out to the side. So at this stage, the foot shouldn't be in contact with the ground. It should be a fair distance away from the ground, really. Keep that right leg really firmly activated. So it's a bit like trikonasana, isn't it? And then come back to the center, unhook the belt, and then just relax the leg. So, talking about the pose being similar to trikonasana, we're going to do that again, but this time, rather than and supta padangusthasana 2, we're consciously going to bring the foot to the floor, which means that you kind of have to forget about the leg that you've left behind a little bit, and let that leg kind of roll over, and then you reactivate that the leg that you've left behind. So we'll do supta padangusthasana. I'll quickly show you. So we're going to do that one more time, just supta padangusthasana 1, and then we're going to bring the leg out to the side. Actually, I'll show you this on this side because you won't be able to see as well on that side. So you're going to bring that leg out to the side, but rather than just stopping where you did for supta padangusthasana 2, you're going to let go of this right leg and then just let that leg come over so that the little toe is on the floor. And then you're going to reactivate that right leg, opening the hips, stretch the arm out, and then look over the top arm. So it is kind of trikonasana. Then you're going to bring the leg over to the other side. So you're going to come up, take hold of the belt with the other hand, bring that leg over to the other side, and then you're going to draw the abdomen across. So it's like parivrtta trikonasana, reactivating that leg that's along the floor. Okay, so let's do that together. So bend both legs, hook the belt around the right leg, just feel where the hips are. Straighten out that left leg. Just feel where the hips are. Just find that levelness. Take hold of both ends of the belt with the right hand, and then bring that leg out to the side as though you're going into supta padangusthasana 2. So bring that leg high, but then just let go with that left leg, and then bring the little toe side of the foot down onto the floor, and then reactivate that left leg, broadening the abdomen. Turn the abdomen away from that right leg, from the right to the left. Stretch the left arm out, and then look over that left hand. Breathing even and deep inhalations and exhalations. Activating the legs like you're doing trikonasana, because you kind of effectively are doing trikonasana. And then bring that leg back to the center. Take hold of the belt with the other hand, both ends of the belt with the other hand, and then bring that leg over until you bring the foot down onto the floor. And then reactivate that leg that you've left behind. The leg that's just, the left leg, just reactivate that like you're doing trikonasana. And then rotate the abdomen away from that right leg, from the right to the left, from the left to the right even. Stretch the right arm out and then turn the abdomen, turn the chest. Look over that right hand. Keep the left leg really firmly activated. Just feel how you open the hips, how you open up tension in the spine. And then gently come back to the center, bring that leg back to the center, release the leg, and then just relax down into the floor. So this is a really nice way to do trikonasana and parivrtta trikonasana, because there's no worries about wobbling, is there? Especially in parivrtta trikonasana, you kind of get real security in the pose. You get all of the benefits of the pose. So I always find parivrtta trikonasana particularly good if I've got lower back pain. This really helps me to stretch it out. Of course, you've got to do it properly to stop yourself from injuring yourself. So you always come into it gently. Bend your knees, walk the seat bones as close to the heels as you can, and then hook the left foot into the belt. Get those legs to straighten, or get that lifted leg to straighten. Feel that the hips are level, and then lengthen out the right leg along the floor. So supta padangusthasana 1. Take hold of both ends of the belt in the left hand, sorry. Bring your right hand onto the right hip, and then bend that leg out to the side, keeping the leg high. And then release with that right leg. Bring the little toe side of the foot down onto the floor, and then reactivate that right leg, really broadening out that hip. Stretch out the right arm and then look over that right hand. Draw the abdomen away from the left leg, from the left to the right. Try and keep the back flat into the floor. So it's like doing trikonasana against the wall, isn't it, a little? And then just bring that leg back to the center. Just reset in the center. Take hold of both ends of the belt with the right hand. And then bring that leg over to the right side. Bring the foot down. And then reactivate that right leg. Really firmly activate that right leg. Draw the abdomen from the right to the left. Stretch that left arm out to the side. And then look over that left hand. Drawing the abdomen away from the leg. Drawing the abdomen from the right to the left. Breathe in from the bottom of the lungs to the top, keeping that right leg really firmly activated as well. Keeping both legs straight. Okay, and then gently just bring that leg back to the center, just be in supta padangusthasana 1 for a moment, and then release the leg, and then just let the body just rest into the ground for a moment, and just feel the lightness of your energy. And then pull the knees in towards the chest. Bring the feet into supta baddangulyasana. Resting your hands on your lower ribs. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Just letting the hips and the legs recover. And then just gently draw your knees together, pull your knees in towards your chest, just have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. And then just rock yourself up into a seated position. So we're going to do a variation of Setu Bandha, which is a restorative version. So get your the blanket that you normally fold like that, unfold it a little so that it's like that. So kind of a kind of a long wide mat, and then roll up the end like you're rolling up a Swiss roll. You're only rolling up about half of it. So this is going to be a little wedge for your neck. So you need a bolster handy, not a belt, a bolster. And then you can come down onto the floor and just place your neck in that little Swiss roll. Just feel how that feels for the moment. It should feel really nice. And then pull the feet close to the seat bones, lift the seat bones, and then slide the bolster underneath your lower back. So if you feel like you're sinking in the chest, you can drive it up your back a little bit more, just around the center, almost up to the center of your back, but don't do it too high because it can be uncomfortable. Just assess whether the roll in the neck feels comfortable, and then you can either stretch your arms out to the side, just let yourself relax, or what's really nice I find is to just rest your arms over your head, just resting your hands on the floor, and then relax. So rather than deep conscious extension, you can just allow the body to relax into the pose. So this is a restorative variation of Setu Bandha. So it's a gentle inversion that just aids recovery. It helps to keep the mind quiet, to release tension from the neck. So if it's in any way uncomfortable, especially in the neck, if it feels like it's too strong in the back of your neck, then just reduce the roll. If it feels like it's not really doing anything, then maybe make the roll a bit bigger. Otherwise, just let the body relax into the pose. Consciously soften the jaw, soften the tongue, soften the throat. Just continuing to focus on the breath. And then just to bring yourself out of the pose, you can keep the bolster under the roll underneath your neck. Just lift the seat bones up, just roll the bolster away, just so that the bolster goes underneath your knees, And then you can either decide to keep the roll underneath your neck or just to remove the roll and just allow yourself to release into just a restorative shavasana. It's quite nice to remove that roll from underneath the neck actually, so I'll leave that up to you. Just let the muscles of the arms and the legs release as though you're unhooking them. Allow the body to become heavy on the ground. But out of that heaviness comes a feeling of energetic lightness radiating from the bones and into the muscles. And into the flesh and the skin. Okay, when you're ready to bring yourself out of the pose, just wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers. Just be conscious of the energy that you've released through your practice this morning. Bend your knees, bring your feet onto the bolster if it's still there. Have the feet apart, the knees together. Just resting into the floor. And then gently roll over onto your right side. Stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. And then come up into cross legs. Just hold your knees, lift up into the chest. And then bring your hands into Namaste. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice. Draw your breath in through your nose and down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy you've released through your practice this morning, and then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Just spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you have created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. Just connecting the tip of the index finger with the tip of the thumb, just a gesture of wisdom and intelligence and peacefulness that you can carry into your day. And then as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel as though you've just really lifted your energy and you've given yourself some good positive energy to put into your day. So thank you very much for joining me.